Hello and happy moving. This is going to be one of my favorite end range strength drills for the shoulders. So if you have trouble getting your arm overhead without flaring your ribs, arching your back, so having a trouble doing this, maybe even getting the arm to the ear, then something like this is probably needed in your routine to develop the tissue capacity and the mobility and strength to be able to have your arm next to your ear. So for this one, we will be using some equipment. I will be using a chair or a broomstick. So if you don't have a broomstick, I'm going to show this chair variation. Neither one of them is equal or less. It just depends on the one that you feel more, that you like, and that you will do more. So I'm going to show you both. So we're going to go ahead and start with the chair version. So I like to just have a normal chair. It can be pretty much any height. I'd say too tall might be too hard for this one. Too low might not be enough. So just a normal chair, right? And then from there, we're going to start by finding a 2-minute passive stretch. So I'm going to come to my knees, place my hands around shoulder width apart right here on the chair. And then I'm going to think about tucking my tailbone. So you can take a couple arch and tucks to figure out what that means. But we're going to find a tuck of the tailbone, and then we're going to find a passive stretch. So with that tailbone tucked, and you're going to just find a stretch here through your shoulders, through your lats, with the head. We don't want to look towards our feet. You're going to think about pushing your head straight forward. So it's not coming down towards the chest. You're pushing it straight forward. You're looking directly to the ground. And we're going to hold here, taking a passive stretch somewhere between 1 to 2 minutes. And ideally, I always say for any kind of isometrics, we want to hang out here until the stretch is less than a 6 out of 10. 10 being, the most intense stretch you ever had. 0 being it's nothing, you don't feel it. So for me, I would say right now, this is around a 3 or a 4, so I could probably do it and hop right into it. If it is more than that, then you're going to hang out here. Breathe, big breaths into your nose, out any way you like, and just allow yourself to sink into this position, keeping that tailbone nice and tucked. All right, so once you've done that stretch, go ahead and pause the video. Give yourself the time you need to get that stretch under a 6, and then we'll get into the isometrics. So we're going to do one side at a time. So you're going to place one arm on the chair, find that tuck of the tailbone, send yourself down towards the floor. So from here, this is an isometric, which means that this arm is not going to move, but you're going to be very active through all of the muscles that this joint motion requires. So the first one, you're going to think about pressing your hand into here. This is what it's going to look like. So not like much. And then the next one, you're going to think about lifting your hand off the chair. Again, I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes. This is what it's really going to look like. Nothing. And so not much. So we're going to start with a 5-second, if you've never done this before, a 5-second isometric. And then you can work up to a longer one, 15+ seconds as you get more comfy. Now, more time does not equal more mobility. So if you feel pain at all when you're doing this, you're not going to get the benefits. So ideally, you are slowly increasing how hard you're pressing, how hard you're lifting over time. So the first second, you're not pushing very hard. By the 10th second, you're working pretty hard. But within that push, you are staying within a contraction that is pain-free. You're not feeling any aches and pains while you're doing it, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to start with my first contraction with one side. We're tucking the tailbone, we're coming down. I'm going to start by driving my hand in. Ideally, we would have a timer because it's pretty hard to see by counting here, but I'll just count for the purpose of this video. So I'm looking right down before towards the floor, and I'm going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Taking a big inhale. Now I'm thinking about ripping my hand off the chair. It's not going to go anywhere, remember, for 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping tailbone tucked, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice my range of motion. I started off here. I am already down here. So it's pretty crazy how something like this can give you so much more flexibility and mobility relatively quickly. So you're gonna go ahead and repeat that somewhere between 3 to 5 times on each arm, pushing down, thinking about lifting up on both sides. Start with 5 seconds if you've never done these before. If that feels really good and pain-free, work up to 10, and just listen to your body, right? We don't get more mobility by pushing into pain. Mobility training, I would argue that all kinds of training, that is the case, but the mindset has to be different, right? It's not no pain, no gain here because we experience pain, our body is stressed, our body says no more mobility, okay? All right, so for this next one, this will be without the chair. We're gonna use this broomstick, and you're gonna start by finding a 2-minute passive stretch. So the farther I walk up my hand up this, the more stretch I'm gonna find. I'm gonna find a tuck of the tailbone. I'm just gonna start by looking directly down towards the floor, just like I did on that other side. This feels like a pretty good stretch in my lat here. I actually feel it a bit in my chest because I'm a little sore. And I'm gonna stay here breathing, big full body breaths, breathing into my whole torso through my nose, and then exhale any way you like. So I'll stay here for somewhere between 1 to 2 minutes until the stretch gets less than a 6 out of 10, just like the last one. All right, that's already about the case for me, so we're just gonna go ahead and head into the isometric. So pause this video if you need that time. This time is important, and just make sure that you're not gonna have pain. So if we can hold the passive stretch, we're much less likely to have any kind of pain with the contraction, all right? And again, no pain, no gain. No pain, no mobility gains, maybe that's what I should say. All right, so you're gonna find the push down into the floor on the first one. So it's gonna look like this, you're pushing down. It's gonna feel like you're pressing this guy actively down. And then on the other one, keeping the tailbone tucked, you're thinking about ripping this guy off the ground. Now remember, it's not gonna look like anything, it's probably gonna look like this. The other hand can come anywhere you need to rest on the ground or just anywhere you need for support. All right, so I'm keeping my tailbone tucked. I'm gonna go ahead and find that first contraction. So I'm pressing down for 1, looking down towards the floor for 2, 3, 4, 5, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. Take a big breath. And now I'm thinking about ripping this thing off the floor for 1, 2, keeping tailbone tucked, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Again, that already increased my range of motion just with 1 round. It's pretty crazy how quickly something like this can work, and even imagine how it would work if you were doing it a couple times out of the week. So same thing as that other one. You're gonna do that on both sides, somewhere around 3 to 5 times, going from around 5 to 15 seconds, staying out of any kind of discomfort, okay? This is something that you could do in addition to your other shoulder mobility training, either pre-session or post-session, depending on your energy, to really solidify this mobility, our shoulder flexion, getting that arm next to our ear comfortably without any pinching, without any compensating by arching the back or flaring our ribs. All right, so give this one a try. Let me know what you think. Leave me a like if you enjoyed this tutorial, and subscribe for more. Happy moving.